Hey, what's up, everybody? Kip here, Teams of Men. Today's Hive Mind, I had decided to record the session just because we had quite a few cancellations of folks that wanted to participate, but let me know in the morning via text and email that they couldn't get to this one. So I'll do this quick 3 to 4 minute recap of what I had in mind. And hopefully it jogs some thought processes in your brain and you can start some conversations with your own staff or your players. And then when we come back September, we hope to get everybody that couldn't attend back in person, and we can get the fall started off. I know a lot of us high school, college coaches, especially the football side of things, are starting their season. So excited for you guys to be back on the field to play soccer, any spring sports, but also wanted to make sure you remember, and I think I don't have to, I'm speaking to the choir here, as you get into season, if we're truly of the mindset that we believe in transformational coaching through what we believe in Teams of Men and why we all gathered together in the first place, you can't forget about this stuff once the season starts. You can't lose perspective and forget to drop Teams of Men type activities into your daily calendar. Yes, practice is going to be on there. Yes, weights are going to be on there. Yes, film sessions going to be on there, games, travel. But don't forget, I'm trying to give you different ways to make sure you make your players know that this stuff still matters to you. It's not scoreboard related. It's not performance related. It's purely them as human beings, as men growing to be more in their manhood. So let's dive into a couple things. First of all, I was going to start today with the last thing you stole and used from here as a share, but please don't feel bad. You should, if you're following at Teams_Men on Twitter and you just use the advanced Twitter search option, type in at Teams_Men and then go to Get Reps or Experts Research, you will see all the smart people throughout the world that I'm stealing and using information from, thoughts, statements, activities. And then I'm trying to repackage and weave some of those into things that I think as a coach who's done this for a decade, you can use as well. So don't ever feel bad if you're like, I took this from Kip. Feel free, because I probably got a great alley-oop from somebody else with the material in the first place. A couple things, speaking of that, in current events that I think is important for you, you can easily do this through a text share with your current team, splice it into a film session, do a group circle discussion about it on the field, on the court. The first one over here on the left, that I want to shout out my lead assistant, Coach Chris Horton, who sent this to me, which I think is an example of all the things you want to build in your staff and your players, where it's the norm for you as coaches of men, as it's male coaches, female coaches, to be sharing texts in your thread groups, not just about how practice went, not just about the scout or the recruiting visit, how that happened, sharing things that jog in your brain. Holy cow, that's related to the Teams of Men mindset we're trying to get. So Coach Chris, full shout out to him. He sent me this ESPN article. If you've been on the Hive Minds in the past or followed us on social media, you know what's surrounding Deshaun Watson right now. Over 40 allegations against him, inappropriate conduct around women and female masseuses. And you'll see that the NFL and their supposed expert investigation of the allegations. You know how professional sports leagues and colleges especially love to claim we're doing our due diligence. If you listen to my podcast about the Chauncey Billups hiring with the Blazers, you heard that word come up. We did our work. Boy, we left no stone unturned. Well, if you go and you take what Teams of Men espouses, a believing survivors, a victim advocacy approach to these investigations, you won't be surprised that two of the massage therapists who experienced this harm at the hands of Deshaun Watson, the framework with which the questions were presented to them. So I think this is an easy application, and I thank Coach Horton for sending it. Send your players this article, okay? Send them this article, read it together, okay? And notice they're already asking, well, hey, as the massage therapist, what were you wearing? In a questionnaire to determine what harm Deshaun Watson did, they asked if the massage therapist was wearing something that could warrant a man deciding he could touch and do anything he wanted to a woman. That mindset is what we're trying to blow up. And I think Coach Chris did a great job in the highlighting here. I don't think there's any coincidence, and neither does he, around this use of this contraction, the whore. And I know you all are smart enough to figure out that's whore with a contraction. I know it's a real contraction if you Google it, but there's more ways to say this that aren't specifically targeted around. The use of this is not coincidental. Okay, so this is another example of professional male sports leagues, Division I athletics, maybe institutions you're at, not knowing or not living up to their ideal that they're supposed to support and believe women, believe survivors. Second one, I saw this today. Here's the bit.ly. I'll put it in the email share of this video as well. So you'll get the link of the Loom and you'll get the link of this. This is just a Rams-Chargers preseason football game. You can already tell groups of men, and I'm sure you can all jump to what's going to happen in this clip. If I click on it, Kip, you're going to see public assault. You're going to see violent altercations between groups of men. I think this is worthy in your team room. I think this is worthy in your team meeting to play the video, and you decide when are you going to ask your guy, what questions are you going to ask your guys? Fellas, what led to this? Don't let them escape with, well, they got drunk. Go farther. Why'd they drink? Well, you go to football games, you drink. Why? I want you to keep following up with why, what, why, who told you? Because I think you're going to eventually get to, hopefully, with your team, fellas, when we gather as men, when we seek out camaraderie as a group of men, what is it? What are the scripts we think we have to follow? Why do we think a group of us together at a football game have to be intoxicated? Why do we think a group of us together at a football game have to flex and puff out and physically assault other people? Why do we do this as a group? What is it that we're acting upon? Don't let them escape with, well, that guy got drunk. Because we've seen this happen. They've probably been in groups of men that got inebriated. You've probably seen fights that didn't involve this. We can't say that all these guys in here are drunk. Why are we getting to this? You notice as well, ask them, fellas, this can't be simply, well, fans get a little crazy, because they're all wearing the same team's jersey. They're all Rams fans. So this is purely a male script being followed, and I want you to challenge it and fight it to where they think this is boys will be boys acceptable behavior, because it's not. People get hurt in and around, not just the combatants in the video. If you watch it, all the people in the area, and it spreads like fire, like wildfire. And that's probably a bad analogy in the times we're living in, but I want you to challenge them on those thought processes and use this video to do so. Couple other things. If you go to that link up there, one of my episodes, a couple of my episodes that I'm encouraging everyone to listen to, not just because of me, but not because it's my voice and I'm this savant by any means. I'm drawing upon experiences, and I'm trying to find commonality with your experiences. I talked about my trip to Disneyland with my family and the rampant nature of seeing the T-shirts up there. I'm just here to pay for everything. And I discuss in there what I think that T-shirt, a man wearing that T-shirt, what I think he's trying to say, and why, once again, I think he's performing, because I think he wants the rest of us men in attendance. I think we all want to feel a certain way about ourselves instead of simply enjoying family time and saying, you know what, I like the teacups. It was a good ride. But go to there, listen to that, and discuss. It's another way for you to discuss with your staff, your partner, your players, something simple as a T-shirt you might see at Disneyland. Another one down here that I think is important for coaches, screenshot this. What to do if someone tells you they're experiencing abuse. This is for you. When that moment when a player might come in and share with you and trust you enough to share with you, what are you going to do with the information? What's appropriate for you? How should you respond? And also use this in training your team. This is a lesson plan we can help you with as well. Training your team. If they're beacons for safety on your campus, they need to have these tools for if someone shares, if victim survivors share with them that they've experienced abuse, they need to be effective and appropriate and compassionate in how they respond to that trust from those people. So another slide, screenshot it, use the link, use this as you go through. Finally, a couple of direct lesson plans. Okay, I think I mentioned it earlier, but follow this on the left side. How to check out your favorite accounts. Go through your Twitter, go through your Instagram. Probably Twitter's the best. Coaches mainly exist on Twitter. Go to the advanced search button in Twitter. Okay, type in your favorite follow, three or four different coaches or accounts you follow that you consider professional development. And then take a phrase, a hashtag, or even a common language that you think your program's about. So I use in this example down here, culture first. I know all of us are obsessed with that. And I'm not saying it's problematic. Type in the exact phrase, then type in the account that you follow, and does that account bring that up? What do they say about it? Maybe you're doing great, and your inputs to what you follow, they do talk to you about things you're passionate about. They do help you expand your coaching. That's great. But if you use an advanced Twitter search, you type in stuff you're about, and some of the top 3 or 4 accounts you follow and see every day on your feed have never used those phrases or discussed those phrases, then they're not feeding you the way you think they are. They're not feeding in the stuff you say is yours. So this is a great assignment for you and your staff, for you yourself, but also flip it, put it on your kids. What are you about? Ask your players. Hey, get a small group. What are you about? What's your little group? What are you the player? What do you consider? Give me a phrase or something you live. What's your mantras that you believe in and live by? Okay, great. Okay, passion over everything. Whatever it may be. Have them put it in on advanced Twitter search. Have them put in their number one accounts they follow, and see what those accounts say about it. Okay, I think it's a no lose situation for you. Either you verify that you're following and getting fed things in your social media feed that helps you and helps you grow, or you verify that those accounts are lacking and you can make change. That's a great thing. Get reps ideas for you and your staff, you and your team. Last one, get reps team exercise. Play this clip. It's right there in the buffer link. Play that clip and watch this young woman who's a professional reporter on site location trying to film a news read, and watch what is said to her by men walking by. And then I want you to flip it onto your team and say, what would you do? I don't want you to say, I'm not the guy that walks by and catcalls. That's fine. Great. I want you to tell me what you would do if you're the cameraman or the producer on site with her as those men walk by. What would you do? And once again, we're not trying to build a bunch of Batman, Superman, Iron Man heroes that are going to go jump and tackle the catcaller. But you better have some verbal notification tools to signify to that man that it's inappropriate, you don't condone it, and he should stop. What are those verbal things? And if you don't have that, call us or work with your team. If you do have ideas, give them those tools. Guys are willing. Sometimes their willingness doesn't get them to execution because they don't have the tool to match their willingness. You got to give them tools to execute. Hive mind.